Will the representatives please take their seats? And will the clerk please call the roll?
John Donovan. Here. Michael Hurley. Here. Jay Lipp. Gaylord Meyer. Here. Eric Sundman. Pete Ambrose. Here. Catherine Burstein. Here. John Jones. Here. Jeff Steele. Here. Keith Varian. Ed Bateson. Here. Sam Cargill. Here. Hank Ferentz. Here. Dave McKenzie. Here. Mary McCullough. Here. Heather Dean. Present. Joe DiMartino. Bill Gerber. Here. Joe Palmer. He's here. Cindy Waldron. Here. Josh Garskoff. Lauren O'Brien. Here. Andrew Semmel. Ruth Smay. Carol Way. Julie Gottlieb. Here. Alan Mark. Here. Joe Siebert. Here. Jay Wolf. Here. Liz Edmo. Here. Jim Hopper. Here. Kevin Hopkins. Here. Eric Newman. Here. Phil Pierce. Al Schwartz. Yep. Kathy Braun. Here. Alex Durrell. Here. Jason Lee. Here. Tom McCarthy. Here. Jeff Malorano. Here. Pamela Iacono. Here. Ellen Jacobs. Here. Laura McCardle. Here. Carol Pontrelli. Chris Timniak. Ryan Caparelli.
Point of order, I can't hear.
Brian Farnan.
Here.
Ray Newberger.
Here.
Bill Perugini.
Here.
Bruce Ryan.
Will we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence? I would like to acknowledge that Jeff Maloragno lost his grandmother, and First Selectman Tetro lost his brother. So if you could keep them in your thoughts after we say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We do have a relatively short agenda tonight, and I do have several members who have asked for moments of personal privilege at the end of the meeting, so if you wouldn't mind not to rush and pack up very quickly when we get to item number 6, it would be much appreciated. First item of business is to consider and act upon the minutes of the regularly monthly meeting held on September 28th, 2015, moved by Representative Ambrose, seconded by Representative Bateson. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all of those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Representative McCullough is abstaining. The minutes pass. Item number 3, to receive a final report from the Senior and Disabled Tax Relief Committee. This item was heard in committee, and there was no follow-up to my knowledge. Does anybody have anything on senior tax relief at this time? Seeing nothing, we'll move on to item number 4. To consider and act upon amendments to Chapter 99 of the Town Code, Transient Merchants, sponsored by Michael Hurley, District 1, Joe Palmer, District 4, and Pamela Iacono, District 9. Moved by Representative Hurley, seconded by Representative Lee. Is there a discussion on this item? No discussion? I thought, well, I know we have a couple of amendments. Representative Dean. Give it to Betsy.
I just turned it on.
Representative Dean, District 4. I'd like to insert the provision under 99-fee fees. Any resident of the town of Fairfield, an amendment, this is an amendment. Any resident of the town of Fairfield who has reached his or her 62nd birthday at the time of the license is applied for shall, if he or she otherwise qualifies for a license, be issued said license without fee. All other provisions of the Article 99 shall be complied with.
Is there a second? Representative Bateman. Is there any discussion on this amendment? Seeing none, anyone from the public wish to discuss this amendment to the ordinance? Seeing none, back to the body. All in favor of this amendment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Amendment passes. There any other further discussion? Representative Garskoff. Representative Palmer, did you want to join him, or you got it all covered?
Thank you, Madam Moderator, and thank you for your patience. Josh Garskoff, District 5. So, as most of you have heard already, but I'll just say it so in case anybody hasn't. My intent here is with this, I think the way it's worded now, nonprofits are exempt, and I'm concerned that a person could come to someone's door and say, oh, I don't need that license because I work for a nonprofit, and it would be impossible for the homeowner to say, are you or aren't you a nonprofit? They wouldn't know. So I'm trying to change this so that nonprofits do need to be licensed if they're going to go door to door or sell under these rules, but that we would not charge them a fee. So my attempt here is to simply reword it slightly so that nonprofits do need the license, but at no cost to the nonprofit. Not sure the best way. Do I just need to read? Okay, so I'm striking in paragraph 2. Do I read the whole paragraph? Okay, so I am striking about in the 4th line midway, any person engaged in the selling of goods and services on behalf of or under the authority of any charitable or nonprofit organization which is registered with the Secretary of the State of Connecticut. And what that refers to is that's the exemptions. So we're taking them out of the list of agencies that are exempt from needing this license. And then I'm adding at the end of that list, any person under 18 years old and any adult chaperone for that youth who is selling on behalf of or under the authority of a 501c3 nonprofit or selling his or her own goods, parentheses, such as lemonade. So that's 2 changes, and then there's another late breaking change. On page 2, I guess it's we're adding number 12. If the applicant is selling on behalf of or under the authority of a 501c3 nonprofit, proof of recognition by the Internal Revenue Service as a 501c3 or proof of registration by the state of Connecticut as a charitable organization. So that's just talking about how you prove you are a nonprofit. I'm afraid I've lost exactly where we are here in page 4 under fees. Thank you. We're adding number 2. Any person who is seeking to sell under the auspices of a 501c3 nonprofit organization, parens recognized by the Internal Revenue Service as a 501c3, and parens may apply for a license under this article at no fee. That is my motion to amend the amendment. And I think I may have a second right here.
Seconded by Representative Palmer. Okay. Is there any discussion on these amendments?
Maybe I can just provide a little color. Okay, so great.
All right.
While I'm up here.
Sure.
Okay, I'm raising my hand.
Okay.
So the reason that these two, the last 2 points that Josh, Representative Garskoff had introduced were pertaining to what kind of proof would the police department, when processing an application, need from a nonprofit organization to be able to waive the fee. So what we did was we just drilled down a little bit more and got specific. In the applications area, you'll notice that there are very specific items, and so that's why we did that. And how we did it was we communicated with Chief Liddy and got a sense of how he will verify it. And there's two ways. One is that he will look for proof from the IRS or look for proof from the state that the organization is certified as a charitable organization. And so that's why that piece of the language was thrown in. Those are the two things that he will do to verify. Beyond that, there was discussion that they can also verify, the police department can verify this online as well, if let's say the information is incomplete. The second piece is basically just qualifying what a nonprofit is, which in this case there have been a little bit of back and forth in the last 5 minutes about whether it's just a nonprofit throughout the nation, or whether it's a nonprofit that's also certified as a charitable organization. And so I think keeping it broad to a nonprofit, any nonprofit, is sufficient enough clarification.
Great. Thank you very much for working on that. Does anybody have any further discussion on this amendment? Seeing none, is there anybody from the public who wishes to comment on just this amendment? Excellent. All those in favor of this amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Great. Back to the main ordinance. Is there any further discussion from the body on the ordinance as it's been amended? Seeing none, is there anyone from the public who wishes to address this item? Please come forward and state your name and address for the record. There's a microphone right there. Yeah, for the TV, sorry. You turn it on.
It's been a long time since I've done this. Brenda Kupchik, 213 Ferris Road. I'm really excited that this is happening. I've been working on this since July of 2014, and to see it finally happening before the body makes me really happy. It's a combination of events. The garbage haulers originally contacted me because they were upset that an out-of-town company was paying young people to knock on individuals' doors, and actually to the point of harassment, knocking on our residents' doors 2, 3, 4, 5 times, trying to get them to switch their garbage hauler. And so a lot of seniors started to contact me about it, saying that, I told these people I don't want to change my garbage. They won't stop coming to my house. And so a lot of seniors were afraid about this type of harassment. And frankly, I think all of us probably are tired of having people come up to our doors and say, you want to buy siding? Do you want to buy windows? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And if you want to buy siding, you'll go to the store and buy siding. So I'm really excited that you're passing this. I think it's going to make our town a lot safer. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative Kupchak. Is there anyone else from the public who wishes to address this item? Seeing none, back to the body. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Representative Malaragno. Abstentions? Excellent. The item passes. Thank you all for everyone's work on that. Item number 5. To consider and act upon amendments to Chapter 37 of the Town Code Retirement System, sponsored by Michael Hurley, District 1, Pamela Iacono, District 9, and Ray Newberger, District 10. Moved by Representative Caffarelli, seconded by Representative McCullough. Is there any discussion on this item? Representative Ambrose.
Good evening. Peter Ambrose, District 2. I'd like to make the following amendments to the to the proposed ordinance, beginning with Section A. I'd like to, on the second line, remove the words "may establish" and insert "shall approve." The second set of amendment, or the second amendment I'd like to make is to Section B of the proposed change. In Section B, the change now reads, established by the representative town committee. And I'd like to instead put down approved by the representative town meeting. Secondly, halfway through the paragraph, there's a phrase that begins with, as for those actions or other action that is not part of the administration, operation, oversight, or management of such plan, the RTM retains exclusive authority with respect to all such actions involving such plan. I'd like to move that we strike that one sentence.
Is there a second? Representative Hurley.
The nexus for bringing this to your attention is our meeting on Wednesday night, this committee meetings that were joint committee meetings, and many of the RTM members on both sides of the aisle were concerned about the verbiage. I thought I was asked to rewrite the ordinance so that it became more clear and remove some excess verbiage. I did have a chance to speak to counsel, Attorney Cohen, who helped propose the language. He was on his way from Fort Lauderdale to Hartford, but I caught him this afternoon. It was rather short notice to do all this, but I was able to tie him down. And we did speak, and he also left a voice message on my phone. And he essentially, with respect to the First Amendment change, felt that the change shall approve rather than may establish. He was fine with that change, and he noted that it really puts the onus on the Board of Selectmen to make the proposed changes and for the RTM to approve the change. So he was fine with that. Secondly, in reviewing the second change, that is to Section B, he had no problem with modifying the words, taking established out and saying approved, and also obviously changing the word committee to RTM meeting. Finally, with respect to that one sentence that I'm moving to strike, he said he felt that there was not necessary a clarification or removal of that one sentence is non-substantial, because that would fall within the realm of the duties for the Board of Selectmen. So those are the changes I'd like to make to the amendments. I don't think they're substantive in nature, but I do think they're clear and they are more succinct in what we're trying to do.
Is there any discussion on the amendment only? Seeing none, anyone from the public who wishes to address the amendment? Back to the body. All in favor of the amendment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Representative Schwartz, Representative Smay, Representative Hopkins. Item passes. Back to the main motion. Is there any further discussion on the ordinance as a whole as it's been amended? Seeing none, any members from the public? Back to the body. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Representative Hopkins? Abstentions? Representative Schwartz? And Representative Walk? And Representative Smay, sorry. The item passes. Thank you all very much. Last item is to consider and act upon any other matters presented to said meeting and which may be properly acted upon under the rules of the representative town meeting. First, I should have asked Chief McNamara to stay, but I did want to just take a moment and thank all of our first responders for the way they acted on Friday with an emergency that arose in our school district on Friday. It was very frightening for this community, and I think it goes without saying that we're all very proud of the way that our first responders, teachers, administrators, staff, and our students handled that frightening situation, and thank heavens nothing tragic came of it. So we really wish to give them all of our deep, sincere thanks. Representative Gottlieb had asked for a moment of personal privilege.
It's on. Julie Gottlieb, District 6. Been thinking District 4 for the last couple months. In my official role as Deputy Minority Leader and my unofficial role as his RTM wife, I'd like to, on behalf of the Democratic Caucus, thank Hal for his commitment to this body. As you know, Hal's leaving us after 12 years serving on this body, most recently, of course, as our Minority Leader. Hal, you'll be missed. Like you or hate you, you are always a presence here on the floor. And don't get too comfortable. There's probably a building committee chair with your name on it.
I was going to try to sneak out of here quietly tonight, but obviously not. 12 years is a long time. My kids, oh God, I mean, they're all graduated. Actually, my youngest daughter now teaches in the school system, and she was one of the teachers who I was not able to get a hold of on Friday. I made a lot of friends on this body. I don't think I made many enemies. We agree to disagree, but that's what we're here to do. I think this body is great. I think this is a great town, and I wish you all the best of luck in your upcoming election. I got to be honest with you, not knocking on doors for the first time in 12 years is really, really relaxing. But everybody wants to know what I'm going to do with the time left that I have now, but I really don't understand because it's really only a couple nights a month, so we'll see what happens. But I do want to thank all of you because it has been a pleasure. I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of great friends, and keep in touch. Thanks.
Representative Steele.
Thanks, Pam, for giving me a few minutes, and it will just be a few minutes, I promise you, and you can get out. I also want to speak. I haven't served as long as Hal. I mean, it's only been 10 years, but as you all know, obviously I'm not running for re-election, and I just want to say a few words. This October marks my 10th year. It took me 3 election cycles to even win a seat. I have lost in 2001, 2003. Obviously, I didn't give up, and you know, I just want to say that this experience really to serve the town in which I live has been a tremendous opportunity, especially to be engaged in public service. I'll look back on my time as an RTM member and as Deputy Minority Leader, Moderator, and LNA Committee Chair with great fondness and satisfaction. My decision to not run again was really bittersweet. Bitter because I'll certainly miss it. I love serving with this town and working with such great people. Town employees, elected officials, over 100 different RTM colleagues from both political parties, spanning 5 different terms, and of course my constituents and the people of the town. But it's also sweet because I can now focus more on my job, obviously, my relatively new job, but also my family and my 3 busy kids, each of which is, I've got one in elementary, middle school, and high school. But equally important, I can now give someone else an opportunity to serve in town government. And I do want to leave everyone with this message, and I had to say it at some point, and that is participating in public service is an honor, whether it's as a civil servant, a volunteer elected official, or as an active member of the public. It allows someone to give back to a community and to help their neighbors and fellow colleagues. It also offers an opportunity to provide views and opinions that can shape a society. It provides one with an understanding and appreciation of how our country functions at all levels of government and the role that public institutions play in fostering a community's growth. I think it's very important for everyone to try to participate in some form of public service at some point in their lives, to be a part of the process. While I have also served in the federal government, it is the local municipal level where grassroots efforts make the biggest impact on a community. So I'm proud to have had the opportunity to serve on the RTM. And while I'm not, well, I just want to take literally 45 seconds and mention a few people. I'm sure I'm leaving some out, but I just wanted to thank a few people who've helped me over the last 10 years. First of all, Betsy Brown, for doing a phenomenal job as town clerk and advisor to this body. I want to thank Eileen Kennelly, who's no longer here at the RTM, but she was an assistant town attorney and a huge help to my years as moderator for 3.5 years and allowed me to really learn Robert's rules, which is pretty important. Tom Flynn, Jim Walsh, Jamie Millington, Tony Wong, all who provided many years of advice and counsel. Hank Ferentz for serving as a skilled deputy moderator for 3.5 years when I was moderator, and for the last 2 years as well. Hal Schwartz for being a good friend and colleague to work with across the political aisle. Ed Bateson for your consistently strong and steady leadership and guidance. Joe Palmer for your loyalty and your passion for public policy and ability to break down the issues. Peter Ambrose, 10 years of your camaraderie, District 2 teamwork, and friendship. Michael Hurley for being a close, loyal friend, advisor, and colleague. And Pam Iacona for your leadership, trust, and friendship. And most importantly, to my wife and family for letting me do this for 10 years and always supporting me. This is not the end of these relationships, just another stage. Perhaps we'll be back at some point, but for now, the future is yours. And I wish everyone here running for office the best of luck. If you win, always treat the office with respect and honor. And to those who are also not running, may you dedicate the same intensity and focus you gave this body to your next pursuit. I'm done. Thank you.
And with that, I just want to say to Jeff personally, thank you. You've been an invaluable resource to me. And last but not least, we have several members of the body who are retiring from the RTM, so to say. And I'd just like to take a moment to recognize some important people in this body who are either not seeking re-election or are planning on moving on to other things. And if you could just stand up when I call out your name. John Donovan, Gaylord Meyer, Jay Lip, Jeff Steele. Rise and be recognized, people. Dave McKenzie, Joe DiMartino, Joe Palmer, Andrew Semmel, Kevin Hopkins, Hal Schwartz, Jason Lee, Ellen Jacob, Carol Pontrelli, Chris Timniak, Lori McCardle, Bruce Ryan, and last but not least, an ex officio member to this body, Selectman Kevin Kiley. I want to personally thank all of you for serving and giving up your time to public service. It's been a pleasure working with all of you. And this could potentially be my last time at the microphone, so I have thoroughly enjoyed serving as your moderator and as a representative. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Representative Meyer, seconded by Representative McCardle.